Hi, my name is Grace Speroni, and welcome to Conversations with the ERC5. Today, I am delighted to have with us George Morgado from Allied Flooring and Budget Cabinets.
Thanks
George,
for having me, Grace.
Welcome to the podcast. It's such a pleasure to have you here with us. And as we were just talking prior to you coming on, I was on your website trying to learn as much as I could about all of the wonderful things that you do, and you really do so much. Like, it's one-stop shopping. I can take care of everything I need with one visit to you. So tell us about everything that you provide and how you came into this industry.
So I started in the industry very young. I've been in flooring probably my whole life. So, and my career has been driven from everything, from the warehouse to installation to sales. Went to business school, and then went to corporate America in flooring. So I got to see all the avenues from manufacturing all the way down to the end user, and then brought back and became partners at Allied to try to bring some of that knowledge back to our consumers, of what they expect from us on product delivery. So.
Right. Well, that's fantastic, because it's great when you have someone who has, started here and worked their way up so that you fully understand all of the aspects of the business and the services you provide.
Yep.
So tell us now about the services that you provide. Where can we start?
So we have multiple showrooms on the flooring side with East Longmeadow, Agawam, and Leominster, Mass. On the flooring side. But about 2 years ago, we acquired Budget Cabinet. And the reason for Budget Cabinet is it's actually next door to our Agawam showroom. So our mindset was to make consumers have an easier shopping performance in one parking lot, that they can get everything selected between floors, paint, and cabinets. Look, every remodel, every home usually has a combination of one or the other, including bathroom vanities and cabinets and floors and combinations of custom showers of whatever we do. And we just wanted to make the process easy. But as I went to corporate America, what I realized is that the flooring world was adding kitchen showrooms into their flooring showrooms to make the combination simple for consumers. And that's not just for residential. When we look at segment business, the commercial world and the multifamily world love the ease of one company that's able to manage their turns in both unit turns or even commercial space turns that can make the process move a lot faster and better under certain schedule constraints.
Right. And I'm sure that is always a big factor, right? When you enter into a remodel and someone says, oh, here's your completion date, we just take it for granted, or I do, oh yeah, it'll be done on that date. But there's little things that can happen that can throw that off. And if you're a business, if you've got a rental that has to be ready or something like that, that not meeting a deadline could be, make or break.
Could cost you a month's worth of rent,
Yeah.
right? So, and our goal is about turning the speed, and our goal is to try to get the two team members between Budget and Allied on the flooring side to communicate and work with each other, so that way there's no dead time. One day's flooring, the other day's cabinets, and then we're out of the unit. So it's able to allow us to integrate schedules without the homeowner or the property owner having to make multiple phone calls.
Everything's done right in-house. So you can schedule it all and keep it running on schedule.
Yep.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about flooring.
So the flooring world, definitely interesting world as we go.
I'll say.
On a design side, there's a lot of exciting stuff. Manufacturing hasn't changed the world on new product launches, but there's a lot of new colorations and designs, very design-driven industry. So they're usually trendy depending on how things flow. But only thing I'm going to say on color, and and I'm not a designer myself, and we have professional designers in our organization, but everything tends to stay within the neutral colorations in flooring because they're longer lifespan type stuff. When you're dealing with paint, it's a lot easier to paint a wall. It's not so easy to rip out your floors and just redo them.
So true. And that would be me.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that. That's why, and every time you say your design team, that's so refreshing to know that that is there for me, because I'd be the person who, this trend that's out there looks great. I love it. So now I'm going to rip out all my wooden cabinets and put in, like the white cabinets were really big, or you don't even have a cabinet on there and just the shelving looks great. But I don't take all the other things into consideration.
Yeah.
So how does the design team step in and provide us guidance? Because I need a lot of guidance.
So as an industry, look, you can't just be a designer for 20 years and expect to be sharp on your skills, right? The design changes on a consistent basis. So one of the things we do as an organization, and a lot of our manufacturing vendors that are out will always run different shows, different classes, and they work with their national designers that are creating new product launches. So if you don't send your designers or your team to these shows or to these events, sometimes, or, being on a Zoom call and watching the different strategies with reps, you're never going to sharpen your skills and you'll still stay stagnant. So as an organization, we just make sure our team's always sharpening their skills and attending these things so they can stay on top of some trends that manufacturers are pushing on a national level. So, and even nationally that can change. California looks are different than New England looks, and it takes a little longer for it to always get up to the Northeast, but you still have to balance the products that are being moved around in the country. So.
So you said something that I want to circle back to, and that is, you mentioned how, sometimes you've got rentals, and that can, if you're not on schedule, that can cost you a month's rent or more. So tell us what you're doing in that respect, because I did not realize until I was on the website that you do property management.
So we do.
I think that's a big one.
We do a lot of property management. It's actually a huge part of our portfolio. We have reps that are just on the road that just work with property management, that their focus is all learning how to create speed of turn. So their mindset is driven to perform that. But that's not just say, here's a product and then have to order it and then have to wait for it. And if you do that, you're really not aligned to create the speed of turn for the property manager. So we have properties that can call us in 3 days, 2 days, and say, hey, I need flooring on an emergency, someone moving in 3 days, and we'll be in there in 3 days to put in the floor. So, and hand them the keys back in a day. So, and that takes having inventory, that takes carrying product, having some color options for them. So we do manage that by having what we call an overflow warehouse that we manage, and we bring in truckloads of product, which also gives us cost, gives us price advantages for them.
Right.
And then we're able to turn product sometimes within 2 to 3 day window.
Wow. So you've always got stock on hand to make sure that you can meet the needs
Correct.
of your customers.
Correct. And that's a little different than residential, because residential wants to get more into the design piece of it. So you can't stock everything. But on the multifamily side, you pick the most neutral colors that the majority of your accounts have and offer those to get their emergency completed within the next few days.
Yeah. What does your business need? And, it could be apartment rentals or it could be office space.
Yep.
But you've got to be able to act quickly so that, again, you don't have a space that's vacant and not being used.
Correct. And we did that in the budget cabinet side also. So when we acquired budget cabinet, they weren't property manager driven. They were very residential driven, which is a cut order type world, or a custom order type world. But in the multifamily world, it's pretty simple. Just tell me what cabinets you have in stock and what you can turn. So when we acquired it, we went into a stock program, and we stock now 3 colors of cabinets that are fully compliant with all their HUD or ADAs, and now the property can get cabinets the same day, next day, and get their kitchen turned, our vanities, because we have everything right in stock. So we stock 3 colors for them, which makes it easy for them to decide which way they want to go.
And your staff comes in and takes care of all of the installation.
Yep.
And if there's a little hang up where maybe the space isn't quite fitting,
We can swap cabinets out. same
That's
day.
great.
Yeah, because we stock them. And we don't have to install. If a property wants our rep to come out, measure it, lay it out, she'll do a 20/20 design for them. I have a multifamily road rep for just kitchens, and she'll design it, and they can just buy the cabinets and do it themselves. So they can go either way, whatever option we're open to our consumers' needs.
I'm loving this. It is really one-stop shopping. So what about now, because we're talking one-stop shopping, what about financing? What if I need help with financing my kitchen remodel, or as a tenant, maybe I've had a lot of turnover and I'm running a little tight on funds. How does that work?
So we do offer financing, residential. We usually will offer different programs. It also depends on what the vendors of ours are supporting during certain programs that they have, which we then can push down those months type financing. So at a minimum, you can get 12 months, 0 interest, as long as you make equal payments on a residential business in both floorings and cabinets. And believe it or not, in the cabinet world, most smaller or most kitchen stores don't offer financing unless you go to a big box store mindset. And we were able to integrate the partnership of Allied with Wells Fargo to offer the same concept now at Budget. So you can get financing 12 months, no interest everywhere across our organization at both Budget and Allied.
That is fantastic. So now have we covered everything? We've got the property management, your design team, the cabinets, the paint. And as you said, I mean, paint, colors are always changing and they rename them. But as you said, you just go in, you get a different color and you go. And then the flooring. Is there anything I've missed?
No, you haven't missed anything, except,
you do an awful lot. So I want to make sure that we haven't forgotten a single thing.
We do, but the main purpose of the customer, like we created an org chart in our organization, and even us as owners, there's one thing that we tell everyone in our organization, doesn't matter what channel you work in, is the president of the organization is our customer. So the customer's number one. We all work for the customer. So
I like that philosophy. Goes back to way back when. Thank you so much for making time. I know you're a very busy man. I appreciate you being here with us today, George. So if there's a viewer at home listening, watching, and they're looking to have you manage some property, or they've got to remodel something that you might be able to help them with, what is the best way for them to reach you?
So they can just go right to our website. There's a lead generator there that they can set an appointment to get it measured and set a time. And the request actually comes directly to me. And then I will pass the request off to the proper location. So that they can go to alliedflooringandpaint.com, and everything will be in there within Budget and flooring and all of it with cabinets. It's all in that one website, and you'll be able to see all of our locations and then request an appointment.
Wonderful. And there is lots of great information on the website, and it was very easy to navigate. So I encourage folks to do that. George,
Excellent.
Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thank you for tuning in for today's conversations with the ERC5. If you would like to be the next guest on our podcast, filmed here at Stonegate Studios in Wilbraham, go to our website, ERC5.com, and you can sign up there.